What was the moment when you decided to quit your job? Like, what was going through your head?
It was a lot of build up because I left my job in 2019, but I dropped my first album in 2018, and I started doing shows in 2018. So I probably, before I quit my job, I probably did at least 30, 40 shows, just bookings, open mics. So, I built up a lot then, and I was doing all the email, reaching out, everything. And I remember one night I was just having a conversation with my daughter's mom, one of my best friends, Yaya. And I was like, man, I'm not trying to do this shit no more. Like, I don't enjoy this. And prior to that, what led to that, probably a few weeks prior, I went into work and I sat at my desk and I just started crying. Like I just started bawling. I couldn't even control it. It was just like, and I called up my brother and I'm like, man, I need to leave. I'm finna pull up. And I pulled up there and we just chopped it up. And I was like, man, I never want to have, like, I don't want this to be my life. I don't want to do this another 5, 10 years. And I used to talk to other people at the job and tell them, like, man, I'm going to go for this. And they couldn't even fathom it. They're like, you're going to leave security? Like they couldn't fathom it. And we had a conversation one night, and I think it was like tax return season. And it was getting like probably like 6, 7 grand back, something like that. Some small number, but enough for me to be like, I'm going to quit. And I'm gonna wiggle this. I'm finna see. And I went in the next morning and I wrote my resignation letter and I, told my supervisor, like, man, I'm gone. Like, you ain't even gotta like call or look for me. Like, I'm not gonna answer. I'm gone. And I remember getting home after that day and my mom was like, man, you back off work early? And I was like, I'm done.
Ain't no work.
ain't no more work. And I went to my room straight. Start making songs, start writing songs, start getting back to work. And I remember I was sending out a bunch of messages. I would go through every blog page, every article, every write-up, and I would look up who the writer was or who the directors was, Vivo. And I'd send out messages like, yo, this is who I am. This is my album. You should check it out. If you love it, I would love whatever you can help with. And a guy from Vivo named Micah hit me back. And it was one of my first signs after quitting. Immediately, this was like 3 days after quitting. And he was like, I can't pay you, but I'm working on a pilot for Vivo. So if you be my pilot, I'll give you all the content. I can't pay you, but you can keep all the content, drop it, whatever. And I ended up going out there to do it. I was like, I'm going to just take the risk. I'm going to take this last bit of paper. And I did it. And the pilot ended up getting approved. Like, they got a series today that still, like, all the big artists be on it. And I'm the reason that got to go into fruition. But that was one of my first signs of, like, okay, this is something. The universe is giving me something. And I just kept rolling. Like, once I got that first snowball going, I kept letting it build.
That's fine.
Yeah, like your 10,000 shots theory.
Man, it's so true.
Well, I feel like because the problem is you have to kind of like plunge into the abyss, right? Like you have to be willing to take a lot of L's. You have to have a lot of posts that like nobody likes or like 30 people, or whatever it is, And I think what advice would you give to a younger artist trying to kind of navigate? Because, I think a lot of people are just like.
Fail fast and don't look at the metrics. Like, that's where people get caught up and discouraged because, and still me to this day, like I was just talking to Hove and he was saying some just the dopest shit. And I was like, man, thank you, because I was just having a moment a couple weeks ago because my numbers wasn't, I look at what somebody else selling that's like, bro, this nigga not nice as me. He not building what I'm building. He not building the community. Like, you're not more impactful than me. There's no way he sold 10 times more than me. And those are like vanity metrics that's not real and don't matter. And he was explaining that. And when you get caught up in that, it'll be really discouraging. It'll convince you to quit because you'll feel like you're not succeeding. And that's why you can't even look at them numbers early. Or if you do, change your perspective. If it's 20 views, if it was 20 people in this room staring at you, you'll be like, shit. If 20 people showed up to buy tickets, that's shit. That's a good, that's a good thing. It's not a negative thing. It's only negative when you got the perspective of like, oh, that was a failure.
Yeah, I think that's 100% true. I don't think all numbers are like online are built equally. It's like if you have 100,000 followers, I'm not sure. I'm sure you probably have more, but it's like I feel like yours are heavier. You know what I'm saying? Like yours support more. You know what I'm saying?
You don't
like,
know who's in there.
Yeah.
It's like Kyrie Irving bought my album for $11,000. Out of when I only had 10,000 followers, Wallow reposted me and I went viral. So out of that 10, there was a Wallow in there. There's a Kyrie in there.
Yeah.
Hove just said, "Man, I've been watching you for years." So out of that, it's like you don't know who's in there for you to say, "Oh, I only got 100."
Right.
You only got 100. If one of them 100 got 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, you won. I found Malachi at what was Mally at? Maybe a couple hundred. Maybe. I found him, but it was me. It's like his life. He just met Jay-Z, and it's like that all that the number. It don't say enough. Like the data don't say enough for you to justify it as a failure or a success.
Yeah, 100%.
One of the things I feel, how do you feel about the fact that like a lot of what the algorithm prioritizes is like shock based? You know what I mean? Or like it prioritizes like the dumbest shit, or like kind of, and I think that has led to like kind of a widespread pollution of like culture at large.
I don't think so. I don't think the algorithm is judgmental. The algorithm is gonna feed whatever gets attention, whatever gets shared. That's the reason people see me so much, because I was doing dope shit that people was like, "Bruh, did you see what he's doing?" And it moves. The algorithm work in your favor if you're doing things that's favorable. If you just a nigga sitting on the couch posting selfies, then yeah, you're not reaching your audience because it's not entertaining. I'm not entertained, But the algorithm really works for those who put in the work to earn it. Like it's not gonna. If you're only feeding it ever so often, you're not going to get the result you want, because it's a relationship. Like he's saying with radio, the reason all the major artists get so much radio play is because they go so many times. Like Sony pays the radio 1,000 times versus the little indie guy who's trying to pay him once. Who you think I'm a favor? And that's how the algorithm works. It's like it's going to favor the people who's mutually beneficial to it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
When did you understand like kind of the totality of what it takes to be a modern artist? Like the marketing, the branding, kind of taking out ads.
It's been a slow progression. I knew very early, like my pops used to sell, my pops was just a hustler, he sold everything. But he really, when like bootleg DVDs and stuff was a hit, like he was really the guy, because he was the one who learned, hey, I'm finna put covers on these, I'm gonna put track lists, I'm gonna put CD cases, I'm gonna go the extra mile to make my product 10 times better, and I'm only gonna sell the highest quality version. So from the beginning of my journey, that's been in me. I've been like, okay, I'm gonna get the bet. I'm gonna have my shows be better. You come to my show, you're gonna feel different than when you go to their show. You're gonna be greeted. Somebody gonna take care of you. You're gonna get free water. So I've always had these things instilled and understood. Like if I want people to see me and know me, I have to have a better product. I have to figure out how to make my experience more grand. And it's just grown and grown. And as I've been able to get more chicken, it's like, oh, this is how people are scaling 10 times faster than him. He's using ad. When I learned the ad game, it was like, and I learned it early in 2019. I had wrote like some songs for one of my homies, a really dope R&B project that ended up going. And I started learning the ad game, and we just seen the following start going. Then we'll do a show, and more people start coming, and it was like, oh, duh. If you got a product if you have a product that you tested with 100 people and 90 out of 100 people loved it, you should probably show it to 10,000 people. If it works with 10,000, you should probably show it to 100,000. Like if you spent so much time making this art that you love, you should probably spend triple the amount of time making sure people actually experience the art.
I remember a while ago I think you posted like that you spent as much as you made, right? Was that? Talk to me about that, because a lot of people will be like, that's maybe not the best business approach. You're not paying yourself. Whatever the people might like say that is, it's not the thing to do. Just talk to me about your like thought process with all of that.
Yeah. Man, you got to really be careful to not take advice from people who aren't living the life and the career that you want.
Absolutely.
Very, very vital. Because if I would have listened to people early who told me like, man, maybe don't spend, maybe don't, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
The reason I'm independent and everyone knows who I am from Hove down is because I chose to bet on me. I chose to spend the money even though it would put me in the red because I wasn't getting the revenue back from the music yet. I chose to still book the show and bring out the full choir and the band even though they was only paying me for just me and the DJ. Like, those are my decisions.
Yeah.
And everything can't be a business decision when you're an artist or when you're a human. Because when you're trying to scale a business, you're not even in a position to make that decision properly. It would take you 10 extra years. Yeah. You know, if I chose to, okay, well, let's just 30% of this, then 20% of this, I wouldn't be here right now. I had to redump everything I was earning. I had to reinvest it to make sure I could get to the next level. And sometimes that hurts you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, I'm finna spend $100,000 this month, and I'm not gonna get it back until April. That's a risk I'm taking. Maybe it might not be right for your business, but for my business, it makes sense because in April I'm finna make $600. Yeah. So that means I'm down in the red $100 for a couple months, but I'm finna be up by month 4. And when I get that $600, now I could go spend 5 of that. And I got my 100 back, plus I got 5 extra. And when I might not see this back till December.
Right.
But that's for me to deal with, you know, like it ain't for nobody else's business advice to matter because they don't have to live the life.
Yeah.